Onye Ujumajuku has joined. Onye, we are always happy to have you join us on Sports Tonight on Wednesdays. And it's always a good day when you're around.
My pleasure.
Onye, it's finding it difficult to concentrate because his club, they've scored an own goal in the UEFA Champions League. Let me just quickly give you an update. We'll talk about that later on towards the end of the show. Paris Saint-Germain have scored another one. It's 2-1. We said it at the beginning of the show, but we discovered that it was actually an own goal by David Luiz. So it's like Chelsea scoring Chelsea. So it's Paris Saint-Germain 2, Chelsea 1. But the Real Madrid-Dortmund game, still 3-0. As you can see on your screen, there's still some time.
5 minutes.
5 minutes of football left. And so 5 minutes is a long time in football. A lot can still happen. We will update you with all of that before the end of the show. Maybe at full time, we should be able to get to exactly what has happened around these games. But you can see that these are huge games currently going on. But let's come home and talk about our own. And our own, Onye Ujumajuku, is the Globe Premier League. We will talk about Nembe and Giwa later on the show. But let me just start by taking a look at the results of games played today. If you were able to join us yesterday, we told you that there were supposed to be 3 games. Giwa are back in the league, and in Jos it was celebration, jubilation, because at last Giwa are in the Premier League. They gained promotion last season, but they had problems with registration. Now they are back in the league, and they were able to start off on a winning note, 1-0, early goal over Rangers International of Enugu. And then the other one, the big game, played today in Kano. It was Kano Pillars courtesy of 2 penalties, one from Rabiu Ali, the other from Theophilus Afelokai, beating Warri Wolves by 2-0. So Warri Wolves crashing out of Africa on Sunday and crashing in Kano on Wednesday. Not a good story to tell, Onye, considering the amount of resources and investment that Warri Wolves have really put in this team.
Investment? We've learned of late that other
players.
Everybody
have denied. The chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission says it's not true. It is his own words against the players.
Let us have some proof. I mean, so
from which side? From the players' side?
From the players. I mean, if
the players are saying we have not been paid.
If you have received money, then
the players should know.
You should know if they have received money.
You know, so they have not received their alerts. The other game. Let me just explain very quickly. Nembe and Taraba were also supposed to play today, but that game, as we said on this show yesterday, remember yesterday we put a big question mark in front of that game. That game didn't hold, and you know the reason already. So, Onye, you have the floor.
Yeah, Warri Wolves lost it in the first leg. I mean, I'm talking about the Confederations Cup. They lost it in the first leg in Africa. That's why when you complain that you are maltreated, CAF won't listen to you. Because in Africa, they know that it's do me, I do you.
All is fair.
It's do me, I do you.
You play 2 legs.
No, you play 2 legs.
You know, in Africa, you play 2 legs.
Yes.
You go to your home.
You do me at home.
And then I do you away.
That's how it is. You know, so if you fail to take advantage of the first leg and score at least a goal, then what happens in the second leg? Because the Tunisians knew that they had to win the game through hook or crook. And that was what happened. They knew that Ike Tangod was a rock.
And he got the red card early in the game.
Early in the game, you know, to help them get
remove the obstacle.
Advance in the. So I mean, Warri Wolves should blame themselves for their ouster. Going to Kano, I mean, so if you've been to Kano, you need to be courageous to play against Pillars.
But for a team like Warri Wolves, with all the quality that they have, Sunshine went there. I mean, got a draw.
The game was on TV. The game was on TV. The game was on TV.
So what are you saying?
No, the game was on.
So you are saying that because this game wasn't on TV, 2 penalties.
You
know, but they could have been deserved penalties.
They could be deserved penalties, but you cannot.
And they may not have been. And
they may not have been deserved penalties because we were not there. We didn't see it on TV.
That's true.
You know, so they could have, done something, but that is not stopping. That is not denying Pillars, of
the victory that they deserve. Talk about Giwa. First game ever in the Premier League, 1-0 over Rangers.
The
Rangers are surely poor travelers.
That's a big scalp.
Big one.
Absolutely. You are taking Rangers' scalp in your first ever game. I mean, that is a declaration of intent. And if they can do that, if they can win all their home games...
What a way to start the league.
Look, if you tell Giwa that you win all your home games in the Rampang Stadium, 1-0, they'll take it. Because I'm thinking 39 games, 3 points per game, that's what? What's that? That's 57 points. Yeah, I mean, that is more than enough to see you not relegated in the
That's
Premier League.
18 times 3.
Yeah,
57
sorry,
points.
18 times 3.
No,
No,
57.
19 times 3.
18
Ni-
games. 18.
18 games.
Yeah.
18 games. Yeah, okay. That is more than enough to see
18
you.
times.
That's
times-
54.
19 times 2, actually 38 games.
Yeah,
You
that's
get 38 games. Yeah.
So that's
So if you
57.
win all your home games, you're as good as winning the league.
Exactly. So if you tell Giwa that coming into the Nigerian Premier League, you win all your home games, you might lose away, but you win all your home games, they will take it. Because that will see them in another consecutive season in the Nigerian Premier League. And getting the scope of Rangers, obviously one of the biggest teams, not only in Nigeria, but probably West Africa as well. In your first ever game, it's a declaration of intent. How they can sustain the momentum now is a different thing. Because now they are now a match team. Not everybody gets to beat Rangers. And you do it in your first ever game. So they have a big target or an X painted on their back. No team will take them lightly. And I'm hoping that maybe we might just see another team that just came up from nowhere and they gave all the established powers a run for their money.
You know, last season, the teams that got promoted, Bayelsa United, El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri, Nembe City, and
Giwa.
last season.
that last season.
Okay.
None of those teams got down.
Relegated.
None of those teams went down. In fact, one of them was almost winning the
a
league.
continental
All right.
team.
So I think Giwa are just living up to that tradition of starting well, maintaining the tempo, and then challenging for the title. But let's talk about tomorrow. There will also be a game tomorrow in the Globe Premier League. The way the LMC have scheduled it, there's hardly any day when there's no rescheduled game being played. And I think it helps to clear the backlog of matches. Tomorrow, Bayelsa United couldn't play over the weekend because they were busy on the continent. They are going to be at home to Nasarawa United. And that's a big game for Bayelsa United. Nasarawa, last weekend, 2-0 over Lobi in the River Benue.
Two penalties too.
Two penalties over Benue.
In the
River Benue derby.
In the North Central derby.
Yeah, River Benue derby. Now they are off to Sapele for this game against Bayelsa. He's huge as well.
Yeah, very tough game for them. They didn't start well. They went to Taraba, their first game. They got a penalty, they lost it. They now eventually lost 1-0 to Taraba. They came home again and they drew. So I think the game against Lobi, I've watched a game between the past between Lobi and
It's always
Nasarawa. It's always very tough.
tension soaked.
Very tough, because it's just
Like a rivalry.
Just a stone throw. They finish that day and they go back. So I think that victory could give them the psychological boost for this game. But Bayelsa, we didn't give them any chance, judging by their performance at the Super 4. They came last, they didn't play well, but I think they learned, maybe that was the blessing in disguise for them. They picked up and they have advanced, surprisingly.
They are the only Nigerian team surviving on a continent.
Absolutely. So
and that tells something. It says a lot about about how prepared they are this season. And in the Champions League, it is now 3-1. Yeah.
No good at all for Chelsea.
That's,
no good at
if
all for
if
Chelsea.
the last goal was an own goal, this one was not an own goal. Pastore, Javier Pastore of Argentina and Paris Saint-Germain scored in the 90th minute to make it 3 goals to 1
over Chelsea.
Over Chelsea.
So all the, and this is instructive for Nigeria. All the Paris Saint-Germain goals tonight have come from Argentines. Ezekiel Lavezzi scored the first one.
No, David Luiz is actually Brazilian.
And then the Brazilian. The goals that are counting for
Yeah.
PSG. And
Trust
I think
me, even
South
the Brazilian
America.
goal counted.
South America.
counted. And of course, Pastore making it 3-1. The other game is still 3-0. And so today's games have produced plenty of goals, really, in the UEFA Champions League.